Now, with just 90 days left for CAT examination, in this limited amount of time, we must devise a proper strategy for each and every section so that we should be able to utilize whatever time is remaining, up till CAT examination, up to the fullest. So, since if you want to score good, you need to utilize each and every day, each and every hour, each and every minute of the time which is left in front of you. Now, since we all know that we all have a limited amount of time before our examination will arrive, then in that case, I am here in front of you to help you out with a proper strategy that can be devised or implemented in these 90 days. So, friends, welcome back to another session of CAT 2023 Quant Strategy. And we'll be presenting in front of you what should be your plan for the next 90 days as far as the QA section is concerned. So I hope I'm clearly visible and audible to all of you. A very good afternoon to all the aspirants. Harshita, Sonali, Victor, a very good afternoon. Now, Victor says that my syllabus is complete and out of questions, not time. All right, Victor, that is a good thing. This is a very rare thing that I have heard from the students that the syllabus is complete and you are out of questions. So, Victor, just to answer to your question, generally what happens is we complete the syllabus of CAT. Okay, so we think that we have completed the syllabus of CAT. But do you understand one thing that CAT does not have any prescribed syllabus when it comes to LRDI and verbal RC? Okay, so you must have practiced a lot of RC passages, you must have solved a lot of LR or DI sets. Okay, but you cannot solve each and every RC passage, you cannot solve each and every LRDI set that has been made up till now. So what you can do is, in order to make sure that you will be able to solve maximum number of questions that will appear in front of you in your examination, you need to keep practicing the questions. Okay. So what I would suggest you is, in case you are out of questions, then you must join another test series that will help you in keeping yourself in touch with all the questions, with all the topics, with each and every section of CAT examination. Okay, so whatever questions that you have, if you have already solved them once, you have done the revision of these questions more than once, then it's time for you to practice these questions from a different set of data. For that, you need to join some test series. All right. Okay. Yes, Mohammed Shabir, I will be discuss only the quant plan. Okay, so before I'll start with the session, I'll quickly clear some of the queries. Solve more than 5 questions of QA in mock. While reviewing the test, I find some more to be doable questions for me. See whatever the name of the student is. Okay. Yes, Victor, 3 or 4 times ho chuka hoga. So now it's time for you to pick up some new study material. Okay. Now see, the problem that you are facing, this is a similar kind of problem that is faced by a lot of students who lack practice, okay, or probably confidence. So let's say I start a section of quant and I'm able to solve only 2 or 3 questions. That means what I'm doing is I'm just solving a mock and not doing a proper analysis of it. Okay. So in some of my previous sessions, I have clearly explained the importance of doing a proper analysis after each and every mock. I will cover this particular part in brief today as well. This particular thing, if done continuously, if done regularly, will definitely increase your number of attempts as well as your marks in any of the sections, not only quant but also in LRDI and BARs. Okay. Yes, Mohammed Shabir, I'll be discuss only the plan for quant, okay, in this session, not for the other 2 sections. Is 3 months is sufficient for CAT preparation, sir, for to get top B schools? Now, Nagamani, it totally depends on the level at which you are sitting. So, if you are comfortable with the language, if you are fine with mathematics and logical reasoning questions, and you are starting right now, then yes, I can say that 3 months will be enough. if you will study for more than 14 to 15 hours in a day. Yes, I'm serious. Because students who have been preparing since last 1 year, you'll have to outscore them. So in that case, you will have to put on some extra number of hours on daily basis, on regular basis. And yes, it is possible for you to get into the top B schools. Okay. All right. So now, friends, let's start the session. Now, in the first few minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, I'll be discussing what can be the possible pattern of our examination in CAT 2023. Okay. Then I'll be telling you what should be the target score that you should be putting in front of yourself as far as QA section is concerned. We'll also be talking about some of the important areas of QA and their weightages in the previous year papers of CAT examination. Right. So this will cover in 5 to 6 minutes very quickly. And then we'll be discussing what should be our strategy for the next 90 days, what should be our plan for the next 90 days in order to maximize our score. Okay. Now, I'll not be giving you any kind of what I say a shortcut or a magic trick. So, what you'll have to do will be a very conventional way of taking up things. In case you'll be following all those things, then it will be good for you. All right, fine. All right, chaliye. Now let's start. So this is the expected paper pattern for CAT 2023. In BARC, you can expect a total of 24 to 26 questions. Okay. This is the breakup for MCQ and non-MCQ questions as well. For data interpretation and logical reasoning, you can expect anywhere between 20 and 24 questions. And for QA, you can expect anywhere from 22 to 26 questions. Now, there are high chances that the pattern this year will be exactly the same as that of the last year, but we cannot take chances. So we should be open for any kind of surprise in CAT examination. So if I'm ready for a surprise, then that surprise will not be a surprise for me. All right. So in total, we can expect somewhere around 66 to 76 questions to come up in this years of CAT examination. All right. The sectional time limit will remain the same. It will be 40 minutes for every section, and the sequence of sections is also expected to remain same. So the first section will be verbal ability and reading comprehension. You will be given 40 minutes for that. After first section is over, automatically it will be submitted and the second section will start, which will be of BILR, and again you'll be given 40 minutes. After that, quantitative ability, and once again you'll be given 40 minutes. All right. Now talking about the marking scheme, +3 for every correct, -1 for every wrong, and 0 marks will be given for every unattempted question. Also, you must note that there is no negative marking in CAT examination for non-MCQ questions. Okay, so the questions which are theta questions, they does not have any kind of negative marking. All right, fine. Now moving ahead, this is score versus percentile, CAT score versus percentile over the last few years. Okay, now if I look at last 2 years, because I'm expecting the paper pattern of CAT 2023 to be on the similar lines of the last 2 years. So in the last 2 years, the total number of questions was 66 in CAT examination. Every question with a weightage of 3 marks. That means the total marks were 198 in the last 2 years. Okay. Now, if you are targeting a percentile of 90 or above in CAT examination, then in the last year, CAT 2022, anyone who has scored 48.5 have got 90 plus percentile in CAT examination. Now 48.5, that means somewhere around 16 or 17 effectively number of questions correct. Okay, so 16, 17 questions correctly attempt करके आ जाओ, effectively correct करके आ जाओ, and you'll be sitting at 90 percentile in CAT examination. So understand that out of 66 questions in total, I'm talking about 16 or 17 questions which you will have to attempt correctly. All right. Now, the year before that, the same thing can be achieved at an effective number of questions 20. Okay. So, if you have 20 correct, then you can achieve 90 percentile according to the level of difficulty of CAT 2021. Now, keeping both these things in mind, so I can say that if I am at a score of somewhere around 60 marks, that will be safe score to achieve 90 percentile. Okay. Also, like these numbers are changing because of the changing level of difficulty of CAT examination, right? So this year, अगर CAT 2023 और difficult आ जाता है, okay, if the examination is difficult than the previous year, then the cutoff for 90 percentile will fall. So ऐसा भी हो सकता है अगर difficult paper आता है तो 48.5 की जगह 45 marks पर we can score 90 percentile. If the paper is easy, then this value will go up. So probably at a score of 60 or 63 or 65, you will achieve this feat. Okay. Now similarly, anyone who has scored 60 in the last year was able to achieve 95 percentile at a score of 82.5. That means somewhere around 27 or 28 effective number of correct. A student has achieved 99 percentile. At a score of 93, that means 31 correct. Still less than half. There are 66 questions, less than half, 31 correct, and you will get 99.5 percentile. And a score of 110 will take you to 99.9 percentile. All right. So all these things should be there in your mind before you enter the examination hall, because I think nobody would like to put unnecessarily pressure on yourself. All right. So please keep all these things in your mind before you enter the examination hall, and be in a calm and composed state of mind while you are attempting any of the mocks and the final examination. All right. Now, moving ahead and talking only about quantitative ability, because here we are discussing the 90-day master plan for quantitative ability. Now, these are the topics in which I can divide quantitative ability as per their importance, as per the number of questions which have been asked in the previous year papers of CAT. Okay. Now, I have arranged them in decreasing order of their importance. So, the two most important areas for any of the examination are arithmetic and algebra. Now, arithmetic and algebra, they are further divided into different topics. Okay, so we'll be discussing about that as well. So this lecture is not showing in our exam preparation app. Hirva, I don't understand what you are saying. Obviously, this lecture will not show because this is a free lecture on YouTube. Okay, so facing difficulties in algebra, please suggest some tips. Yes, Sanskar, I'll be doing that. Okay, so let's continue. Friends, understand, just note down one thing that we'll be discussing some questions, we'll be solving some questions after a few minutes as well. So once I'm done with telling you the strategy, then we'll have some questions from the previous year papers of CAT examination. All right. Chaliye. So the top most two topics, the most important topics will be arithmetic and algebra, beat any examination. Majority of questions have appeared from these two areas. If I talk about previous year of CAT examination, as many as 17 questions came in one of the slots from arithmetic and algebra out of the total 22 questions that were asked in CAT examination in the QA section, right? So you can understand the importance of these two areas. Any student who is starting his or her preparation now has limited amount of time and can put more focus on arithmetic and algebra. But if you have already started earlier, then there is no need to shortlist any of the topics. You can complete your syllabus. You must have enough amount of knowledge, some minimum amount of knowledge for each and every area, each and every topic. Then only you will be able to get a good score. Otherwise, you'll have to compromise. Okay. So once again, I'll say that if you have limited amount of time for your preparation, if you are struggling with the time management, then what you can do is, for CAT examination, you can put more focus on arithmetic and algebra, and the remaining areas you can spend less amount of time just knowing the basic concepts of those areas, so that you will be able to at least attempt some of the basic questions if they will come from geometry, number systems, or modern maths. But make sure that you are thoroughly covering each and every topic from arithmetic and algebra. All right, fine. Now this table shows the number of questions that have come from these areas in the previous year paper of CAT examination. Why I have written a range? because the CAT examination happened in 3 different slots. So in these 3 slots, minimum of 8 and maximum of 9 questions have come from arithmetic. Similarly, for algebra, geometry mensuration, number systems, and modern maths, right? So this is what happened the last year, and in the table you can see what has happened in the years before the last year as far as the breakup of these areas is concerned in the number of questions. Okay. Now further, if I'll break arithmetic, then arithmetic is composed of percentages, profit and loss, simple interest, compound interest, averages, mixtures, allegations, ratios, then time, speed, distance, and time and work. So on your screen, now you can see the topic-wise breakup of the number of questions that have appeared from these topics in the last 3 years, CAT 2020, 21, and 22. So a total of 85 questions have appeared. If I'll take the average of this, so average number of questions that have come from arithmetic in every slot is 9.44, approximately 9.5, with a weightage of 40.48. Okay. Out of these topics, if I'll separate the questions of percentages and its applications. So percentages, 7 questions. Application of percentages in profit and loss, another 7 questions. And in simple interest, compound interest, another 8 questions. So 7 plus 7 plus 8, a total of 22 questions have come from percentages and its applications. 22 questions. Okay. So percentages is not the only topic. So if you will finish percentages, then you will also understand its applications in simple interest, compound interest, and profit and loss. All right. Now moving ahead to the next area, ratios, averages, mixtures, allegations. Okay. So ratios, averages, and mixtures and allegations. These can be treated together. So 15 plus 9 plus 8. Okay. 32 questions have come from this area. Okay. So that makes it the most important area over the last 3 years. Time, speed, distance, a total of 19 questions, and time and work, a total of 12 questions. So that means you can expect at least 2 questions from time, speed, distance, and minimum 1 question from time and work that will appear in your examination. All right. Okay. Priyachi, who have already started earlier, what should they do now? So I'll be discussing each and everything. Don't you worry about that. Now, similarly, this is the breakup of algebra. So quadratic equations, sequence series, functions, linear equations, and logarithms. These are the 5 topics which are the most important topics in algebra. Okay, so if you don't understand higher order equations, if you don't understand algebraic identities, then you can afford to leave those areas. But quadratic equations, linear equations, sequence series, these are 3 most important areas that you must do. Okay. Now, similarly for geometry, number systems, and modern maths, this is the breakup that has happened over the last 3 years in CAT examination. All right. Okay. Now, looking at the score versus percentile only for the QA section of CAT. So total number of questions in the last year were 22 multiplied by 3, that is 66 was the total weightage. Any person who has scored 17 marks, this is marks, not the number of questions. 17 marks, that means effectively somewhere around 6 questions correctly. If you have done, then you will get 90 percentile plus in your CAT in the QA section. So that means 17 marks, 6 questions are enough to clear the sectional cutoff of every top B schools. Now, every top B school comes up with a sectional cutoffs as well. Okay. So 6 questions effective correct are more than enough to clear the sectional cutoff. If you want to maximize your scores, at a score of 22.5, you will achieve 95 percentile. At a score of 33.5, a student has achieved 99 percentile. And at a score of 37, that means effectively 12 or 13 questions correct will fetch you 99.5 percentile. That means you'll be among top 0.5% of the students in the QA section. Okay. So why I'm telling you all these things again and again, because I want none of you to set a wrong target in front of you. Okay, please do not be under any unnecessary pressure. Okay. Now, Karjol, you are saying that you're starting quant tomorrow. How should my basic schedule be for quant if I'm starting tomorrow? So yes, I'll be helping you out now in the next 15 to 20 minutes. Okay. Mohammed Shabi, there is nothing called a safe score. It totally depends on the level of difficulty. Still, I would say that you should be in a position to attempt at least 9 to 10 questions correctly in the QA section. 9 to 10 questions correctly attempt hone chahiye. Okay, with 2 or 3 incorrect attempts, you will be able to sit at a good score as far as percentile is concerned. Okay? चलिए, now let's work upon the 90 days quant strategy. Now, first of all, I'm talking about the students who have already who had already started earlier. पहले start कर चुके हो. Now, what should be done? Now, since we are left with only 90 days, so the first step that you should be taking is the revision of every concept of quant. Okay, so let's say up till yesterday you have completed your syllabus. So there are plenty of students in this session who have already completed their syllabus or who have already started earlier and they might be on the verge of finishing up with the syllabus. Okay, so if you are one among those students, then the first thing that you should do is, if you are not doing, is a proper revision of every concept of quant. Now, what happens generally is we tend to keep moving forward, and generally, what happens is we forget some of the basic concepts. Okay, so once in a while, it is always good to revise all the basic concepts of quant. It will take 3 or 4 days. Fine, spend 3 or 4 days and just read out, just have a look at all the basic concepts, especially for the topics of for the areas of arithmetic and algebra, because arithmetic and algebra, they are full of fundamentals, they are full of conceptual things, right? Now, anyone who has not started up till now, if I talk about QA section, you must put more focus on arithmetic and algebra. So start with arithmetic, start with the very first topic of arithmetic, percentages, profit and loss, simple interest, compound interest, and move in a proper direction, in a proper sequence. Now, if you haven't started your syllabus for quant, then give yourself target of, let's say, 40 to 45 days. So if I start from 1st of September, today is 29th of August, still have 2 days left. Okay. So if I start from 1st of September, then you should give yourself a target of October 15. 15th of October का target दो अपने आप को. Up till 15th of October, you will have to finish the syllabus of arithmetic and algebra completely. Okay, if you can do it 10 days before, then you will also have some time left for the other 3 areas, that is geometry, modern maths, and number systems. Okay, but make sure that up till 15th of October, you have completed the entire syllabus as far as the basics, as far as the fundamentals of quant is concerned. Now, why I'm giving you 45 days? Because in parallel to that, you will also have to practice verbal RC and LRD. Okay. So don't think that you have all these 45 days with you only for quant. In these 45 days, you will also have to manage the other 2 sections. All right. Fine. Now, let me first of all finish discussing for the students who have already started their preparation earlier. Okay, so first step is revisiting all the quant concepts. Give yourself 3 to 4 days and finish revising all those concepts. Now come to advanced concepts from permutation, combination, probability, time, speed, distance, and percentages. So there might be some advanced concepts for which you will have to do some kind of practice. That will come through when you will practice some higher level of difficulty questions. So start practicing time-bound mock papers or the sectional tests that are already there in your portal. Okay. Now, what this will do is this will help you in building up your speed as well as accuracy. All right. Sir, how to use Arun Sharma for Quant as I'm doing self preparation? How to use Ayush? How can I tell you how to use? Now you must proceed in a step by step manner. So start from the very first chapter and read the basics, practice one exercise, then move on to the next chapter, practice exercise, and so on. Okay, keep marking some important questions which can keep for the later revision. Okay, now coming back to advanced concept. Now, if you are practicing the topic test or the sectional test, it will help you in improving your speed as well as accuracy. Now, do not forget to do a proper analysis after each and every test that you take, be it a topic test, be it a sectional test, be it a mock test paper. Okay. Now, after a few minutes, I'll also be telling you what is the right way of doing a proper analysis. So, for that, you'll have to wait for 10 to 15 minutes. Now the next step for these type of students will be the revision. Okay, so once you have revisited all the concepts, once you have read all the advanced concepts, now you must start your revision by looking at all the questions that you have bookmarked previously. Okay, so when you would have done your practice for the first time, you must have encountered some important concepts, some difficult questions that you want to revise later on. Okay, so now it's time to look at all that data that you have shortlisted for yourself. So from every chapter, there might be 15-20 questions that would have taught you something new, that were difficult, that were different as far as concept is concerned. So look at all those questions at a time. I'm talking about the entire syllabus. Fine. Now after that, start with the targeted practice. Now whatever I have suggested you, revisiting the basic concepts, then advanced concepts, and the revision of all those questions and concepts that you have shortlisted earlier. This should be finished in a matter of 10 to 14 days. So maximum 2 week ka time do apne aap ko and finish up with everything. Then start with the targeted practice. Now, what do I understand by targeted practice? Now, in the next 10 to 14 days, you will realize which topics are your weak areas and which topics are your strong points. Okay, not only topics, the type of questions. So let's say you are very strong in time speed distance, but there is a specific type of question on circular races that is bothering you. Okay, so you will have to shortlist all these things. You will have to uh, make a point of all these things in the next 10 to 14 days in which you are doing all these revision kind of thing. Okay, so after these 14 days you will have a complete list of all the areas, all the type of questions that are bothering you and all the topics in which you are very strong. So now it's time to work on those weak areas. So this is called the targeted practice. Okay, so let's say you got to know that you are weak in triangles. Then practice 40 to 50 questions specifically on triangles. Now, if you think that you have not understood, let's say, alternate segment theorem in triangles, okay, you are having a difficulty in understanding that theorem, then look at that theorem once again and practice 5 to 10 questions specifically based on the alternate segment theorem. Okay, so you will have to do this particular thing for each and every topic that you have shortlisted as your weak point. Okay, nice, done. Now, this should be taking not more than 15 days in parallel to whatever test series that you are taking on. Okay, now the last step will be PYPQs, previous year paper questions, and the mock test series. Now, I'm sure that all of you must have already entered the mock test series. So, what you need to do is, vis-a-vis you are practicing, like you are taking mock test papers. In parallel to that, you must start solving the previous year papers of CAT. Okay, and some additional practice exercises to enhance your problem solving skills. Okay, also practice solving questions within strict time limits to improve your speed and accuracy. CAT में हमें 40 minutes मिलते हैं QA section में. Why not we attempt a sectional test of quant having 22 questions in 35 minutes? ओके, सो 35 मिनट्स में अगर अटेम्प्ट करोगे, so that will help you in doing a proper selection of questions, right? Okay, so this is the plan for all the students who have already started earlier. Now all of you will have to wait for some time in case you want to understand what should be a proper way of doing an analysis of every test. Okay. Now I'll consider all the students who are starting now. So अगर अभी start कर रहे हो तो हमें क्या करना चाहिए? Okay. So wait, let me open a blank sheet for all of you. Just give me a second. All right. Now, for every student who has recently started his or her preparation or will be starting his or her preparation, let's say from 1st of September. So, starting from 1st September till 15th of October, you should be completing your syllabus. Now, what do I mean by completing the syllabus? So, look at the concept of each and every topic. On the basis of that, practice at least one complete exercise based on that topic. Okay, without practicing questions, you will not be able to understand if you have understood the concept or not. So practice बहुत जरूरी है. So एक topic open किया, percentages, understand the concepts, and then practice 20 questions based on that concept. Next, profit and loss, do the same thing. Simple interest, compound interest, do the same thing. And move in a proper sequence with these topics. Alright. So up till 15th of October, I can say that even if you will finish one topic in every day, you will be able to finish the entire quant syllabus in less than 30 days. Okay. So study for 4 hours or 5 hours. I'm giving you 5 hours. So एक दिन में 5 hours सिर्फ quant को दो, then give 3 to 4 hours to verbal RC and 3 to 4 hours to LRTF. So if you are giving 4 to 5 hours to quant, then 4 to 5 hours are sufficient to finish one or two topics of QA section. With this, you'll be able to finish everything, the syllabus of quant in 1 month's time. So September end तक finish हो जाना चाहिए. I'm giving you a buffer of 15 days. Right? This should be your first step. Now, while you are practicing these questions in these 1.5 months, what you need to do is you need to bookmark all the important concepts, the formulas, and some very good questions, so that after 1 month you should be able to you should have a question bank in front of you, which will help you in targeted revision after this 1 month. Okay. Now, when 1 month is over, then start looking at the sectional tests and the mock tests. Okay. Meanwhile, when you are practicing this, every week you must take one mock paper. That will help you in understanding the level of difficulty as well as the pattern of this examination. And it will also teach you the quality of time management. All right, fine. So this should be the complete plan for all students who are starting right now. Make sure that you are giving yourself some short-term targets as well as long-term targets. So I have set a long-term target for yours for all of you. ठीक है ना? 1st September से start करो, 15th October तक सब कुछ finish हो जाना चाहिए. Now what do I mean by short-term target? You must divide the entire quant in 5 parts. 5 parts में तो divided है, okay? And you must divide them in sub-parts as well. So make a list of all the topics that are there in quant, right? Now start setting a target of 4 days in front of you. So in next 4 days, these are the 4 topics or 5 topics or maybe 6 topics that you'll have to finish. Then after these 4 days are over, revise or review whatever you have done in the last 4 days. It will hardly take you 1 hour. So जो भी अब last 4 days में किया है, if you have done good, if you have achieved your target, then set another target for the next 4 days. If you are unable to achieve this target, then set a revised target for the next 4 days. Fine. Don't set unrealistic target for yourself. ऐसा मत करना कि नेक्स्ट 4 डेज में मुझे सारा का सारा सिलेबस कंप्लीट करना है या फिर कंप्लीट अरिथमेटिक फिनिश करनी है, बिकॉज यू कैन नॉट स्पेंड all the time only on quant. Quant के साथ साथ verbal RC and LRTI are the topics, are the sections that you'll have to take care about. All right, fine. Now let us understand what is the proper way of doing analysis. Now, generally what happens is after a mock paper is over, or after any sectional test is over, or after any topic test is over, if we get a good score, we are very happy and we forget everything. If we don't get a good score, we become very sad and we don't want to do anything. Now, in any of these scenarios, you will be able to continue achieving the success, or you will be able to change your fortune in case you will do a proper analysis. So if you have scored good and you are not doing proper analysis, your score will be stagnant and it will not improve. If you have not scored good and you will not do a proper analysis, then definitely you will keep on getting the lower scores in the future mocks. So analysis is very important in order to understand what are my weak areas, what are the places at which I am committing mistake, am I good with time management, how good am I with speed, how good am I with accuracy. So these are some things that you'll have to take care while doing the analysis, right? Now, those students who are doing the analysis, majority of them are looking at only those questions which you have attempted incorrectly. जो हमने गलत अटेम्प्ट किए हैं, आप लोग सिर्फ उन्हीं क्वेश्चंस को देखते हो and you forget to look at the questions which you have not attempted. And more importantly, you don't even look at those questions which you have attempted correctly. यार करेक्ट तो किया है, क्या जरूरत है इसको देखने की? Okay, fine. So my say is you will have to look at all these three type of questions which you have attempted incorrectly, the questions which you have left unattempted, and also the questions which you have attempted correctly. Okay, I will look at all the three questions and explain why. So first of all, let's start with incorrect questions. So out of 22 questions, let's say 7 questions are incorrect. Now these incorrect questions, getting into the depth of these incorrect questions will help you in understanding what mistake you have committed. So one kind of mistake can be, I have read the wrong data. That means I'm careless, or that means I was not compromising on my speed. Okay, so मुझे जल्दी जल्दी रीड करना था, मैंने गलत डेटा रीड कर लिया. So this will give you a learning that next time you will have to be a little slow while reading the question. At least question को तो ठीक से read करो. Fine. Another kind of mistake can be, I have read everything correctly, but while doing calculations, I have made a mistake. So again, this is a sign of carelessness. जल्दी करने के चक्कर में हैंड राइटिंग इस तरीके से है कि मैं अपनी हैंड राइटिंग नहीं पहचान पा रहा हूँ. 9 है या 1 है मुझे नहीं पता, 7 है या 1 है मुझे नहीं पता. Okay, so in that case, once again, you must mark that particular thing, that particular type of calculation, if that is a specific case, and you must be a little slow the next time when you encounter a similar type of calculation. All right, intentionally करना है ये सब चीजें. Another mistake can be, concept पता था, गलत concept apply कर दिया. Okay, I thought that I know the concept, but while application मैंने एक mistake कर दी, conceptual error. So now what you have to do is you'll have to go back and read that concept once again, and once you have read that, practice 4 or 5 questions based on the same concept so that you do not repeat your mistake. समझ में आ रहा है क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे? So we are taking care of each and every kind of mistake that we have committed, right? Now the next thing is unattempted questions. Why am I looking at unattempted questions? सबसे पहले पता तो होना चाहिए ना कि अनअटेम्प्टेड क्यों छोड़े. डू आई लाइक डोंट नो द कंसेप्ट. ओके, क्या मेरे को कंसेप्ट नहीं पता था, या फिर इन वाले क्वेश्चंस तक पहुंच ही नहीं पाया. सो टाइम मैनेजमेंट में गड़बड़ है. लास्ट के 5 क्वेश्चंस अनअटेम्प्टेड है. Okay, so that means next time you will have to be careful when it comes to time management, when it comes to spending questions on, sorry, when it comes to spending time on lengthy questions as well as smaller questions. So question selection में problem है, because of which I am not able to read the last 5 questions. I'm selecting difficult questions and I'm not selecting the easier ones. So मैं difficult questions में ज़्यादा time waste कर रहा हूँ rather than picking up easy questions. Okay, so this is one thing that you need to keep yourself like a check on. ठीक है, so ये अपने आप पे check रखना है कि difficult questions को छोड़ दो फिलहाल for the time being. You can come back to these questions, but make sure that you are attempting all the easier ones and you are able to at least look at each and every question. सारे questions को देख लिया है, ऐसा ना हो कि लास्ट के 5 questions easy थे, उन तक पहुंच ही नहीं पाया because पहले के questions में ही अटका रहा. So this should not be done. Okay. Another reason why I left the questions unattempted is like I have read those questions, but these questions are not from the area in which I am comfortable. So these were my weak areas. So weak areas है, but you get to know that मेरे weak areas में से बहुत सारे questions आ रहे हैं. Like I have left 3 questions from a same topic, and this topic is my weak area. So you must now look at that particular area, solve 10 to 15 questions on that area, making sure that इस type के questions हम दोबारा ना छोड़ें. Also, unattempted questions, just get into those questions, and if you think that these questions are difficult, then leave them. Don't just leave them uh, if they are in a particular category or from a particular topic. So let's say pipes and systems is my weak area, and I see pipes in a question, and I left that question without getting into that question. यार एक बार read तो कर लो उस question को, शायद वो बहुत basic question हो. Okay, so don't leave any question unattempted without reading that question. Right? Now the last type of questions are the questions which I have attempted correctly. Fine, you should be happy that you have attempted these questions correctly, but how much time have you taken to attempt each of these questions correctly? So let's say this is a question which should have been solved in 1.5 minutes, but you have taken 4 minutes to solve that question. Why you have done that? You must ask a question with yourself. Okay? So this is the reason why I have to go back and look at the questions which I have attempted correctly. ऐसा भी हो सकता है मैंने तुक्का मारा था और करेक्ट हो गया. I don't know the concept. I took a risk. I made a fluke and वो question correct हो गया. So now again you'll have to look at this type of question. Okay. So correct questions में जो time save करोगे, that can be invested in the questions that you have left unattempted. So if there is a question which you have attempted in 4 minutes and which and the same question can be done in 2 minutes or less than 2 minutes, then you must know the trick or technique to finish it in a faster manner. All right, fine. So this is how you must be doing analysis of each and every test that will be taking from now onwards in your life. All right, fine. Am I clear to all of you? Okay. So I would stop here for the day. Okay. So I'll keep the questions that I wanted to discuss, some of the questions that I want to discuss in my for my next session. Don't worry, we at BYJU'S Exam Prep are conducting enough number of sessions on Quant, okay, which will help you to practice this section of Quant. All right. So friends, that is all from my side to help you out for your 90 days plan, whatever time is remaining for you before CAT examination for the QA section. In the similar manner, we'll be conducting the sessions for LRDI and BARC section as well. All right. So I hope you would have liked this session and you would try to follow whatever things I have told you in order to maximize this. All right. Now, friends, you can unlock your free trial. So those students who are exhausted with questions, those students who want to get an admission into BYJU'S exam prep, you want to look at our practice test series. So you can go for a 3-day free trial access for the portal of BYJU'S exam prep. So visit our application, feed your number, and start your free trial for 3 days. You must enroll for CAT 2023 and other management exams test series because this series is curated by the industry experts. There will be 80 plus mocks, which will be based on most of the examinations that will be ahead of you. 10,000 practice questions on all the topics and the subtopics, video solutions for every CAT mock, all right, and the detailed mock analysis of every mock will be there in this test series. All right. So please be among the next list of toppers that we'll publish on our applications. All right. New batches are available for CAT 2023 comprehensive program. These are the complete details for this batch. Wait, I'll just move on the other side so that you can view this. Okay, so this is the complete details of CAT 2023 comprehensive program. So if you're planning to start your preparation now, then you can join our batches which are available. So enrollment is still open. New batches are available. You can enroll in any of these programs. Now for CAT 2024, start early to stay ahead. A free live interactive workshop will be conducted on 3rd of September at 11 a.m. So do register for this application by visiting our do register for this session by visiting our application. Now for CAT 2023 aspirants, All India Open Mock, the next open mock will be live from 8th of September up till 17th of September. Make sure you register for this and take this examination. Okay. Get up to 90% scholarship on CAT preparation programs. So if you are planning to join any of our programs, so a scholarship test will be conducted on 10th of September at 11 a.m. Register for this and avail the scholarship. All right. So friends, that's all from my side. You can follow us on all these social media platforms. Thank you very much for being there, for being a part of this session. I hope you would have enjoyed, you would have liked this session. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.